everybody. Welcome or welcome back to Crafts by KMW. Thank you so much for clicking on the video to watch it. I truly appreciate it, and I hope you enjoy it and learn something from it and maybe find a great new product to try. So I am testing and reviewing the Artist Loft Colored Pencil Blender. I had never seen this before, and I just happened by it at Michael's. So whenever I go to Michael's, even if I'm not gonna buy new colored pencils or pens or markers, I always check that aisle, always, just to see. And I was looking around and this popped out. So I decided to buy one and give it a try. So it was $5.99, and it says that it is formulated to blend wax-based colored pencils. It's double-ended, a regular point and a fine point. I am really angry at myself for throwing out the packaging. I took it out of the package and I told myself I was gonna save it to use in the video, but I forgot and threw it away. So I remember on the packaging, it also said to make sure to clean the tip between use so you don't transfer one color to another, which I think is good advice, especially if you go from a darker color to then blending a lighter color. I do not know what is inside this. I am guessing it's Gamsol or some kind of blend of Gamsol. I know it's not mineral spirits because it doesn't smell, and this pen is rated to be non-toxic. So I believe that mineral spirits are considered toxic. So I'm thinking that this is filled with Gamsol or a blend of Gamsol and something else. It's not very big. I don't think it's going to last a super long time, but I do want to give it a try. I'm sure there are other brands of liquid colored pencil blenders, and if it works and if I like it, I might give other brands a try. So I decided I would test this with my 4 basic brands of pencils that I have, or that I have some pencils of. So my main 2 sets of colored pencils are Prismacolor. So I have the 150. So I decided to use all purples for this. So I'm using Mulberry and Black Cherry in Prismacolor. And then I have the Brutfuner 520. So I chose Meadow Violet and Royal Purple. And then I have some other sets that are smaller. So I have the Castle Arts Harmonious. So I'm using Antique Violet and Dusty Lavender. And then I also have a set of, I think, 32 Tombow pencils. So I believe these are violet and lavender. I'm not 100% sure. The color names are not printed on the pencils, so I'm just guessing, but I think I'm right on that. So 3 of the pencils that I'm using, the brands are wax, and then the Brutfuners are oil-based. So they're both oil and wax. So here are the tips. So this is the regular tip, and then the other side has the pointed tip. So there were no other instructions on the label, so I'm just gonna get started coloring my swatches. So I'm gonna start with the Prisma first. And I did not pull these colors because I thought they would blend really well. I just pulled a darker color and a lighter color. So I am not necessarily advocating for these 2 shades to be used together or work together. I just pulled a light purple and a dark purple from all the sets that I have. So I'm just gonna label this one with a P so I know that's Prismacolor. All right, I'm gonna use the Buffooner next. And I am coloring a couple layers on. Blending is best when you have 2 to 3 layers. So I am just coloring a couple of layers. And I'm gonna label that with a B. All right, next I'll do the Tombow. These two, I might say, are blendable. The Prismacolors, definitely not. The Buffooners actually aren't bad either. I think they could probably blend pretty well in the real world too and look good. And then let me label that T for Tombow. And then the Castle Arts Harmonious. I absolutely love the Castle Arts Harmonious. Those are the first Castle Arts pencils that I have ever tried, and I love them. I love the colors. The pencils themselves are okay. I don't have strong opinions about them either way. I think they're all right. I think they work better on certain types of paper, but I love the colors. All right, and then let's do C for Castle Arts. All right, so I'm gonna do two of these with the fine tip and 2 with the blunt tip. I don't know if it really matters which tip I use. All right, so it is starting to blend like right away. I didn't have to prime it or anything like that. So I think it did a pretty good job of melting the wax. Like I said, these colors don't blend together all that well, but the wax was definitely melted and I was able to blend them somewhat. So now I'm going to go to the Buffooner, and I am transferring color over a little bit. All right. So those melted pretty well too. You can still see with both, you can still see the pencil marks, and I don't know if that's just the blender or if that is because I'm using just regular copy paper that's not all that good. I don't know if it will make a difference to use better paper, but these work pretty well. It's quite juicy. So now I'm just switching the tip. That was the fine tip, and now I'm using the blunt tip. All right, so now I'm blending the Tombows. Now, I don't know how great this worked on the Tombows. The Tombows are a relatively, I would say, like medium quality, medium priced pencil. Their pencils are definitely not as good as their markers. I have trouble blending them with my Prismacolor pencil blender. So I'm not surprised that these don't blend as well. All right, now let's check the Castle Arts. Again, the pencil blender is quite juicy. All right, and that's the Castle Arts. So now that like these are all totally dry now, I don't know. I definitely think that it works. It's juicy. You don't have to prime it or anything. It does melt the wax. It does blend. I think it does do its job. I think that the paper probably makes a difference. So I wasn't preparing to do this, but I'm gonna pull a Hannah Carlson book. And let me see if there is, okay. So I'm gonna test on this copyright page because I don't know if I'm gonna do anything with it. And if I do, I would just probably paint over it or do clouds or something like that. So I'm not gonna test everything, but I'll test the Prismacolor and maybe I'll do one other set. Maybe I'll do the Brutfuner since they are oil-based. Yeah, I do want to know if paper quality makes a difference. So let us see. All right. I definitely think it does. So if you look at where I blended, and on this one you can see a little bit of streaks because I went both ways. You don't see it as much on the Castle Arts, but you don't see as much of the pencil lines as we did on the copy paper. So with pretty much everything else when dealing with pencils, paper quality does make a difference. So it definitely blends much more, just much more in general on the Hannah Carlson paper. And if you're not familiar with Hannah Carlson paper, it's nice and thick, it's cream. It doesn't have a whole lot of tooth, but it has a little bit. And it's very pulpy paper. So if you get it too wet, it kind of flakes. So it's high quality paper. It's just what I would call temperamental. And it works really nicely. I mean, the Brutfuner is blended really well with it. You still can see a little bit of a line, but I think it did a nicer job on higher quality paper. So I guess I would say overall that this is a decent pen. Again, this is the first one I've ever tried. I don't know if there are other brands that are better. I don't think this is going to last a long time. One thing I wanted to mention is that when I exhaust this one, because I am going to use it, and use it in different books and stuff. I am going to see if I can open it up. Like, I'm wondering if the tip will come out and then I can refill it because I have Gamsol. So I'm going to try that and see if it works. If it does, I will make a video and just a real quick one and tell you about that, because the tips are really nice. It gives you so much more control than a brush. The tips are stiff, so you're not like swishing Gamsol or the liquid everywhere and having it hard to be controlled with a brush. So I really like the control you get with the tips on this. So if it's refillable, I'm going to be really, really excited. That will be like a really good buy for $6. So stay tuned for that to see if that is a go. But overall, I think I would recommend this. I like to have several different blenders on hand. I love my Prismacolor colorless blender. I have a Caran d'Ache one that I also like. I have the paper roll. I don't like those as much. I think they're difficult to use unless you dip them in like a Gamsol or a mineral spirits. They don't really work on their own. And of course, I like to use Gamsol and mineral spirits for larger areas. Not mineral spirits, I just use Gamsol, but you can use mineral spirits if you like. I like to use a liquid for larger areas. So I think it's nice to have a couple different things that you can choose from based on your need. I think this will be great for getting into smaller areas. Like I said, much better than a Q-tip or a paintbrush or a brush. I will often fill my water brushes with the Gamsol, and I think this will give much more control. You may have to work at it a little bit more. I'm not sure if I added more layers, if it would blend better. Let me just try it on the Brutfuner really quickly. So, because I really like how these blended. So I'm gonna add a little bit more color. Over these that I already blended. Now let me see. So yeah, I think that does make it work even better. You do still see a little bit of a line, but you can see how much and I could really have spread it out a lot farther. The pen itself is very juicy and will allow you to blend really well. So overall, I say this is a decent product for $6, and I would recommend it. If you've never tried Gamsol before, it might be a good thing for you to try something like this first and kind of see how the liquid works and how it dissolves the wax and all of that before you go to Gamsol, which comes in bottles, and you would use like with a Q-tip or a brush or some other applicator. It might be better to try with this because you get a lot more control. So yeah, I would recommend this. If you've tried this, if you want to try it, let me know in the comments. And if you have used it, let me know what you think of it. Do you like it? Do you not like it? Do you know if it's refillable? I would love to know that. So let me know in the comments. So thank you so much. I would like to ask you to subscribe if you're not already, and like and comment. It really helps my channel to be seen by other people who might like it. I appreciate you watching my videos. Thank you so much. I am truly enjoying making them, and it's like the highlight of my day whenever I get to make a video. And when I think of a video I can make, I get all excited and I can't wait to make it. So thank you again for keeping this channel afloat, and I hope you have an absolutely fantastic day, week, whatever, and an even a more crafty day, week, life. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.